Hi, lovely ones, it's Ethany, and welcome to the Pick Your Card Reading #Oracle Wednesday for the 12th of February 2020 all the way through to the 18th of February. In a moment, I am going to show you 3 piles of cards, and you can either select the pile that you feel the most drawn to instantaneously, or you can ask your guides what message they have for you this week. Then you can pick a pile. I'm going to come back and I'm going to run through each one of the messages for you. So without further ado, let's do this thing and show you your cards for the week.
Okay, so now it's time for you to pick a pile of cards that you feel the most drawn to. Starting from the left to the right, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And this can be the pile that you were, or the group of cards that you were first drawn to, or you could have asked your guides, what message do I need to hear for the week, and then select which one is calling to you. I do suggest you write down what pile you have been drawn to so that you don't forget, and let's go over to the messages revealed.
Alrighty, so pile number 1, group number 1, I do use those two things interchangeably, just letting you know. And if you want to have a look at some of the cards from the decks that I used this week, you can wait until the end of the video when I actually do go through them. And I also have a link to each one of those decks that is being used in the description as well. So group number 1, pile number 1. Your first card is the Page of Earth. Your second card is Judgment. And your third is Fox. Alrighty. So this message for you, group number 1, pile number 1, is that age-old adage that silence is golden. It is a very, very wise idea for you in this group this week to listen a lot more than you speak. It is a gift, and it is, I feel like silence, especially in a group situation, or even when you're at work or in a meeting, even at home, is a bit of a superpower, because what it allows to happen is that your observation skills go right up. You're going to see and hear things that you wouldn't have if you were entering the fray with your voice. And I am a very vocal person. I am a very wordy person. I like to talk quite a lot, but I also know when it is a good idea to, be silent and quiet. The spirit of Fox in this reading this week is very much around being alert and astute and listening to what is happening in your environment and in your surroundings. You are going to get a lot further ahead because things are going to reveal themselves to you much more naturally with you sitting back and just listening. Furthermore, with this Judgment card, it is not the time for you to be making up stories and over dramatizing what people are saying and attaching those really strong emotions to the words that have been said and things that are happening this week. Water off a duck's back, but I mean, obviously it depends on what is being said, but I think everyone kind of gets the gist of what I'm talking about. If it's one of those small things where you could have made a mountain out of a molehill, best to leave that be so that you're not causing a bunch of ruckus and judgments to be made, and things getting out of out of control. If you feel as though things are getting a little overwhelming, you aren't sure how to react to something, and you need a bit of a timeout, then really do get with this Page of Earth, this Page of Pentacles, the Earth suit, and go on a little retreat. If you find that you are reacting to something that somebody has said, or you're feeling a little bit like you're a bit grumpy, like I know there are some days that I wake up and I'm like, you know what, I am not in the best mood, and I'm just reacting to things badly because I'm in a bit of a grumpy mood. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, didn't have a good sleep, whatever it may be. And so I regulate my days when I know I'm having a day like that. So try to reset. If you can't reset, go outside, go get your feet in the earth, or take your dog for a walk, or spend some time with something in nature that helps you reconnect a little bit and get some of that energy out of your body, giving yourself a bit of a timeout in a nice way. Sometimes we just do need a little bit of solitude to get out of that, and to look at things from a more simple perspective. The more you try to complicate things this week, the more it's going to wreck your headspace, it's going to stress you out, and we actually want to alleviate that as much as possible. Sometimes removing yourself from the situation is a much better strategy than getting sucked into petty arguments and feeling as though you're having to fight, constantly putting out little fires and misunderstandings. So that is your message for group number 1, pile number 1 this week. Fox, silence is golden. Judgment, try not to attach your judgments and put judgment onto yourself or other people if things kind of get a little bit heightened. And then disconnect yourself from people who are causing drama. Remove yourself from situations that you find are just getting under your skin, and see if you can go outside and ground that energy and put it back into the earth. Do something really constructive with it. Go to a spin class, go do some boxing, go get laid, something like that that's going to help you feel better rather than feeling worse because you put your pain onto somebody else. That is that group there. Pile number 2, group number 2. Your cards for the week are Temperance, the 8 of Pentacles, and Cardinal. Okay. So your message this week is that being busy is not something to sometimes be proud of. It's often a sign that you have taken on way too much. I'm just trying to figure out these cards, that you've taken on way too much and you have overcommitted your time and energy. Not only is this bad for your health in regards to it runs your stress right up the wall, but you're more likely to make mistakes that you're going to have to spend extra time fixing, which is so frustrating. I've done it many times in human design. I'm a 5-3, which means I usually make mistakes before I get it right. And I learn through making mistakes. So I don't think there's anything wrong with necessarily making mistakes. But if you've got a lot on your plate and you're already trying to do quite a lot, it can feel as though you're having to do things twice. Because you're like, oh, I was busy, I did this in a flurry, I then have to go back and try and fix this. I should have slowed down, taken the time, and actually done this right the first time, so I wasn't in this situation again, in this situation in the first place. So running around all the time and making mistakes is 2 things that sucks about being overly busy. The third thing is that you can really miss some of the important things in life because you've jam-packed your schedule, or you're trying to please everybody, or you've overcommitted and you're just like, scario, now what am I going to do? If you have chosen this group this week, you are being asked to slow down and pay attention to what you are doing. So the first, I'm going to go through the cards one by one. So Temperance is tempered. It is looking for something that is a little bit more in the middle, taking care of your health and slowing down a little bit, and realizing that busyness is not necessarily something that you can strive to continue all the time. Your body and your energy resources will kind of deplete on its own. So if you can bring as much temperance into what you're doing and slow down a little bit, that'd be great. The 8 of Pentacles is really about focusing on one thing at a time. So if you can actually stop flitting around and trying to do everything at once, slow your roll and try and finish something or pick one thing. I usually have a ridiculous to-do list. Such is life when you work for yourself. And what I find that I had to do this yesterday, I had to just pick something, pick the 2 things that that just go pick it and finish it. And I did. I was getting in that overload of paralysis of trying to make a decision about what I needed to do. So I just said to myself, look, girl, just pick one thing, get that done, and then move on to the next thing. Never mind all the things you need to do. The best thing you can do is to actually finish something. And what was great about the end of the day was I'd actually accomplished probably more than I would have if I had tried to do everything in a more shotgun, sporadic way. focus on that, complete that task, give it your attention that it deserves, and then also giving yourself the attention that you deserve in finishing and feeling good. Because it's definitely a better feeling when you have a lot to do, finishing a couple of things and going, oh shit, I didn't do anything today, because then it just compounds on the stress and you feel even worse. And then the cardinal is, to really focus and not being unclear. This is about clarity and your intentions and where your attention is going. Make sure that you, going forward, if you've overcommitted this week or if you've got too much on your plate that you can't delegate, that you can't say, no, all right, well then that kind of sucks, but at least moving forward, maybe not saying, not saying yes to everything that comes your way. You may have to do a little bit of an audit to what you have actually committed to. And sometimes, you have every right to go back and say, look, I've overcommitted. There is a Kylie Minogue song. I'm not sure if it's the title of the song, but yeah, one of the lyrics goes, it's never too late to change your mind. And you know what? It's true. You can be far down the path and decide that you need to have that altered. So that is your group 2, your pile 2 reading. Slow down, baby. Don't, trying to run around and do everything at once is actually going to see you not achieving anything this week. Pick a couple of things a day, get those done. It'll feel much better. Your to-do list will slowly start getting chipped away and start to say no to other commitments. Okay, so group number 3 or pile number 3, your cards are the Page of Fire. This card. The 8 of Wands. And Raccoon Trash Pandas. I love little trash pandas. They're so freaking cute. They are so cute. Okay. A nuisance. Sometimes rabid, but definitely really freaking cute. I love them. It might be because I'm Australian and I, like panda. We obviously don't have trash pandas in Australia. So when I moved here, I was just like, oh my God, it's a raccoon. And now they're like, not everywhere, but I do see them frequently. Anyway, coming back to focus, your group for the week is all about flexibility. It is key this week for you to see how much you can actually go with the flow. You are going to be challenged this week quite a bit. This could be professionally in your relationship, however challenge comes to you this week. And it is going to be a really bitter pill to swallow if you are not open to seeing things in a way that is a bit more flexible, and if you are being really rigid and being unable to adapt. Now is not the time to be stubborn, and yes, I am looking at you, all of my lovely, beloved earth signs. I have a Virgo rising, I get it, but there are a few of you who are my darling, darling friends, and I know how you can absolutely get so stubborn. This is such a golden opportunity if you're able to get out of your own way this week. Listen to other people's ideas and ways of approaching things. Look at the solutions rather than the blocks. One of the things that I learned really early on when I worked in the corporate world, and I did for a very long time, was one of my managers, I think this was like my first office job. I was an office assistant, and boy, was that ever I learned so much in that job. Some of it was not pleasant, but it was a great introduction to my career. One of my managers said to me, never come to a person who is you're working with, especially not your manager, with a problem without at least having one solution. And I think that was such a great lesson to learn very early on in my career was don't ever look at just the problem. Actually allow the time and the space to sit for looking at a solution. Another little cute thing it's not cute, it's really, really clever. One of my friends, Samuel, hey Samuel, if you're watching this, who is in Australia and a very good friend of mine and an amazing magical person, was talking about moving your car in traffic. And, you have to obviously pay attention to the road and what is happening with the other cars. But he mentioned about allowing your energy to focus on the space rather than the obstacles. And I love that. Even if you didn't take that into the space of a car, like allowing your energy to look at the space, the opportunity, rather than the obstacle, creates openness for things to come to you. Meet each challenge with openness and curiosity rather than defensiveness. Another thing that can happen if we are really, really on this space of being really stuck in our way is that we can feel as though if someone's coming to us for something new, it's an attack on ourselves, when it's absolutely not. So the Page of Wands here is really asking you to be open and be, willing to have a little bit of fun with things, just because things have been, obviously don't go broken if it ain't fixed, but having a little bit of fun with things can absolutely help, and be creative and allow yourself to play a little bit with this Page of Fire, this fiery energy. Love's a good brainstorming, role-playing kind of situation. The Eight of Wands is about that challenge and things moving forward quite quickly, and if you can adapt to it, you're going to find that you travel far. Things are going to shift much quicker in regards to finding opportunities and new ways of doing things. And then the panda, no, it's not a panda, it's a raccoon. I can't help calling them trash pandas. The raccoon is here to ask you to be resourceful and adaptable as much as possible. And you know what? Some unexpected pleasant results are going to head your way if you are able to do this. Okay, my treasures, those are your readings, your piles for the week. What decks did I use? The first one I used is the 78 Tarot Elemental deck. Now, I have unboxed this deck. It is going to be going up on my channel on Friday for First Impressions Friday. And it is, the Midas touch has hit this thing. It is very, very beautifully gold. It is gold absolutely everywhere. It is one, I think this is the 6th deck for this collective. And they are limited editions, all of them. 81 artists from all over the world come together to create this collaborative deck. And it is just gorgeous. Always surprised, always delighted with this, because you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, but it's like a box of tarot. So this is a stunner, and as I mentioned, I'm going to be popping this up on my channel on Friday, so if you like the look of this, you can watch out for that, or just go over and take a looky-loo now. The second deck I used is actually from my upcoming Modern Love Tarot, which will be released this year. The pre-sale is open now. For the month of February at least, there is going to be pre-sale special pricing. Lucy Morningstar is the artist who's been bringing my my terrible sketches to life. They're not great. And we nearly finished the artwork, and then there's going to be a guidebook and a box set for the Modern Love Tarot. I've got a link to that where you can go and claim your copy and have a look at some of the artwork. I kind of wanted some of it to still be a surprise for when I do like a full walkthrough. And then the third deck that I'm using this week is Sawyer's Nature Portals, which is also going up on my channel on Friday. It's a round deck. It's so lovely. I am enamored with all of her stuff. I have all of her decks. I mentioned this in the unboxing. I adore Jamie's work, and I actually do a side-by-side with the portal tiles, which I purchased from her, to show you both of the options. A kitty cat. So you can see the entire walkthrough on Friday, and you can go and check out the link below if you want to go and support her work. Oh my stars, I need another coffee. All right, my lovelies, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I'll see you all next time.